I'm in my early 50s. Recently, the most shocking event of my life unfolded. It all happened during a solo trip when I met a woman. I've been agonizing over whether to confess this to my wife and ended up posting about it online. I met my wife in college, where we were both members of the same club. Initially, we were just close friends, but after graduation, we started dating as we began to see each other in a romantic light. My wife is incredibly diligent and kind-hearted. She's the second of 3 sisters, and by far the most hardworking among them. Even after having 2 kids, she managed to work 3 jobs, which I found utterly impressive. Despite my urging her to take it easy, she was adamant about saving for our retirement, even if it meant cutting back on sleep. Honestly, I'm worn out from working. I've been doing IT work for years, with no weekends off, and it's been overwhelming. I find comfort in talking to my wife more than hanging out with friends. Gradually, I've come to rely on her, pouring out my work-related grievances to her. She's always been my rock, comforting me by saying, "If it's too hard, just quit. I'm earning too, you know." Her words felt sincere, and they gave me the strength to keep going. Our kids have grown up to be incredibly smart and independent, especially the eldest, who started enjoying their university life this year. I'm currently a team leader at my company, with retirement on the horizon. Thankfully, the company offers college tuition support, so that's a relief. We just need to cover the youngest's tuition, and my wife has been working lightly. We've paid off our apartment loan and even bought a new car. For over 20 years, we've both been working, and our kids would save up their allowance to buy us gifts on our birthdays and occasionally clothes. Despite what seems like a happy life to others, I've felt a strange emptiness. I became interested in hiking after a conversation with a colleague about how the warmer weather has made it a popular activity, even for day trips. A quick search on a major portal site confirmed that there are indeed day trips available, and they weren't expensive. There's a mountain I've always wanted to visit, but it's a 3-hour drive, so I hesitated. Fortunately, there was a bus service heading there, so I took a day off work and booked the trip. I headed to the bus terminal early in the morning, took a tour bus to the mountain, and returned on time as scheduled. I told my wife I was taking a day off work to go hiking and pulled out my hiking backpack. She lightly tousled my hair and packed me water, cucumbers, and sandwiches. I left quietly before the kids woke up and caught the bus. The destination, a mountain name, was displayed on the front of the tourist bus, and I found a seat in the back. Most of the passengers were strangers to me, many in their 60s, dressed in colorful hiking gear and boots, sitting excitedly. A man in his early 30s sat next to me. We exchanged brief glances before I gazed out the window and fell asleep. This was my first trip taken just for myself. Upon reaching the mountain's base, I had been hiking for a while when someone called out to me, "Excuse me, I'm suddenly feeling weak. Do you have any candy or chocolate?" It was someone I had seen on the bus, older than me, apparently hiking alone. I quickly found 2 chocolates in my pocket and handed them to her. She thanked me profusely after a while, saying she felt better, likely avoiding a hypoglycemic shock. We continued climbing slowly. About 30 minutes later, she asked if I minded her joining me. I had wanted to hike alone and enjoy nature, but I couldn't refuse, so we hiked together. She told me she had been coming to this mountain for 5 years, knowing an easy trail and guiding me through it. At the summit, while I ate the cucumbers and sandwich, she offered me an iced Americano. I thanked her and asked about her earlier condition. She admitted that she would have been in trouble without me, having missed her insulin shot in a rush to catch the bus and forgetting to bring candy due to changing clothes. She thanked me repeatedly, revealing she had severe diabetes requiring daily insulin injections. Looking at her, I thought she had aged gracefully, her quiet demeanor and actions endearing. She suggested hiking together again, knowing many great mountains. I was about to say I'd bring my wife next time, when she offered to treat me to a meal at the bus terminal. Without thinking, I agreed. After descending the mountain, we hopped on a tour bus back to the terminal. Being someone who isn't picky about food, I let her decide on the menu. Instead, she suggested we grab a drink, to which I readily agreed. Despite having diabetes, she mentioned she occasionally indulges in alcohol but manages it through exercise, assuring me there was no need to worry. Living near the terminal, she shared that her children were all married in their late 20s and her husband, who conducts business abroad, visits only about twice a year. The distance had dulled their emotions, she admitted. Mid-drink, her eldest son called, saying, "Mom nearly had a fall during today's hike. But fortunately, the person who helped her out is with her right now. Yeah, don't worry about me. I'll take good care of myself." Before hanging up, she was incredibly upbeat and positive. She expressed a desire to share her plans and asked for my number. We exchanged contacts and parted ways. A few days later, she reached out, asking if I'd be interested in joining her for a hike on Saturday via a tour bus. Without consulting my wife, I agreed. After booking through the link she sent, we sat together on the bus and enjoyed the hike. My wife, enjoying her alone time, trusted me amidst the frequent incidents occurring in hiking groups. Despite feeling a bit guilty, I chose not to dwell on it. I found myself deeply attracted to her understanding and empathetic nature. Honestly, my wife seemed older than her age, while she appeared at least a decade younger than hers. On our third hike, we ended up creating a secret. I lied about going on another hike, dressed in my hiking gear, and went to her place instead. She complained about her husband barely being home and acting like a lodger when he was. I helped alleviate her grievances, and we've been seeing each other regularly since. People might question what I'm doing with an older woman, but honestly, I feel more compatible with her than with my wife, bringing a sense of novelty. My wife, who used to hike solo, now seems healthier, which somehow makes me feel guilty. I plan to prepare a special event for our upcoming anniversary to reassure her. Juggling two women has been challenging, but I'm more inclined to enjoy this situation.